When I was 4, my brother Leo and I accidentally fell into a pool. After we were rescued, Mom slapped me across the face. I told you to watch Leo. You almost killed him. Was it on purpose? From then on, if I ate one of Leo's candies, I'd be punished with no food. If I secretly played with his toy car, Mom would lock me in the basement. Dad initially tried to intervene, but Mom would just hug Leo tighter. She's the reason Leo is brain damaged. I can't let him suffer anymore. When I was 8, our neighbor, Mr. Peterson, tried to lure Leo into his house with a lollipop. I tried to protect Leo and got dragged in instead. When I returned home, covered in bruises, Mom kicked me to the ground. Lily, you've made Leo sickly and weak, and now you're running away. Can't you just give us a break? I wish I never had you. Dragging my bleeding body, I quietly dug out a red cloth pouch from deep inside the closet. Inside was the keepsake locket Mom had given me years ago, engraved with May, you live 100 years. I looked at it for a long time, then calmly swallowed it. Mom, I don't want to live 100 years anymore. I just want you to be happy forever. The locket was a bit big, and it got stuck in my throat, which was really uncomfortable. I swallowed hard and drank a lot of cold water from my cup. After a lot of effort, it finally went down with a gurgle. My stomach felt heavy, cold, and a little painful. Mom used to warn me about eating strange things, telling me stories about people swallowing gold to end their lives. I was a little scared, but also a little relieved. If I died, would the pain stop? Would my heart stop hurting? Mom pushed open the door and glared at me. Lily, what are you standing there for? Dumbfounded. Come out and eat. Leo's hungry. Stop pretending to be pathetic. I followed her out, but my stomach felt worse and worse, like a big rock was stuck inside. I didn't want to make Mom angry, so I forced myself to eat a couple of bites. Dad saw how pale I looked and reached out to touch my forehead. Lily, why are you so white? Are you running a fever? But Mom slapped Dad's hand away, added a piece of meat to Leo's plate, and said coldly, what could be wrong with her? She's clearly faking it, trying to get our attention. Ignore her, finish eating quickly, and take Leo for a walk. Leo sat beside Mom, grinning at me, holding the toy car Mom had just given him. The locket in my stomach seemed to shift, and I almost threw up. Mom saw me clutching my stomach, and her face darkened even more. Do you have any manners? Can't you even eat a meal without causing a scene? I forced a small, ingratiating smile and whispered, Mom, my stomach hurts. If you don't want to eat, get back to your room. Don't be an eyesore here. Dad opened his mouth, but in the end, he just sighed. Before leaving, Mom told Dad, have Mr. Peterson next door watch Lily for us. A warmth spread through my heart. Maybe Mom did care about me after all. But the next second, Mom looked at me impatiently. Don't let her cause any more trouble. Haven't we suffered enough because of her? She wasn't worried about me getting hurt alone at home. She was worried about me causing trouble. But I didn't like Mr. Peterson. He hurt me badly. Dad exchanged a few words with Mr. Peterson, who then walked over, smiling creepily. Lily, want to come to my place and watch cartoons? Mom said coldly from the side. Behave yourself. Don't cause us any trouble. I didn't dare to refuse anymore. Dad and Mom would be upset. My stomach ached terribly, and I curled up in the corner of the sofa. Mr. Peterson leaned in, wrapping his arm around me. Lily, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? His hand rubbed my back and I shivered in fear. I'm fine. Mr. Peterson saw the cold sweat on my forehead and his disgusting smile vanished. Damn it. Don't you dare get sick here. Get back home now. He pulled me roughly off the sofa. My legs were wobbly and he half supported, half dragged me back to our house. Mr. Peterson put me on the bed, haphazardly pulling the blanket over me, covering my head completely. His voice was particularly harsh. When your parents come back, just say you were too tired and fell asleep. Got it? Don't you dare say anything I did to you. Even if you did, no one would believe you. Actually, he didn't need to tell me. I wouldn't tell Mom and Dad anyway. Before, when stronger boys bullied me, Mom just said I was disobedient and misbehaved at such a young age. I bit down hard on my lip under the blanket, holding back my sobs. The blanket was thick, and I felt a bit breathless, but my body kept getting colder. Outside, I heard Mom and Dad bringing Leo home. Leo was giggling. Mom, I want a story. Mom's voice was so gentle I hadn't heard it in such a long time. Okay, Mom will tell a story to her little prince. Their laughter sounded so nice, like Leo's favorite musical box. But Mom never let me touch that musical box. I heard Mr. Peterson in the living room, speaking in a hushed voice. Lily was tired from playing. She looked completely worn out, so I brought her back to sleep. Mom seemed to say, good, she's asleep. Saves me the annoyance of looking at her. Dad seemed to say something, and Mom raised her voice again. She's just a total curse. If only she had died instead, Leo wouldn't be like this. I couldn't hear the rest of the words. I was covered by the blanket, in complete darkness. My stomach hurt so much, worse than when Mom hit me. There was a metallic taste in my throat too. Mom and Dad, I feel so bad. Gold doesn't taste good at all. If I fall asleep, will you come and see me? When morning came, my stomach didn't hurt anymore. That metallic taste in my throat was gone too. My body felt so light. I'd become a bubble, just like in Mom's fairy tales. I floated out of the blanket. It was so much fun. I could see my own little bed. The blanket was puffed up, and a small me was still lying inside. Mom pushed open the door, displeased. Lily, the sun's high, and you're still not up. You need to go to preschool. I waved at her from the ceiling. Mom, I'm up. I'm right here. But she couldn't hear me, couldn't see me. Mom's face was angry, glaring at the lumped up blanket on the bed. Dad came to, sighing by the doorway. Let her sleep a bit longer. She seemed unwell yesterday. Mom turned and yelled at Dad. Unwell? She's just lazy, faking illness to avoid school. Look how well behaved Leo is. He dressed himself already. Leo bounced to the door and shouted, Lily the big lazy bug. I wanted to tell Leo I wasn't a lazy bug. I didn't need to sleep now, but they couldn't see me, couldn't hear me talk. Mom angrily walked to the bed. I quickly floated down, wanting to hold her hand, but my hand passed right through her arm. She didn't pull back the blanket to look, still grumbling. Such a messy sleeper, wrapped up so tight. Mom took the empty water glass from my nightstand, snorting. All the water's gone, so she must be fine. I floated through the wall to the living room and saw Dad opening the door. Mr. Peterson poked his head in, asking, where's Lily? She's quiet today. Mom poked her head out from the kitchen. She played too hard yesterday. Can't even wake her up. Mr. Peterson seemed to let out a sigh of relief and quickly left. He must have been afraid I'd tell mom and dad about him hurting me, but I won't say anything now. The sunlight streamed in, but I couldn't feel its warmth anymore. My body felt continuously cold. In the living room, mom and dad were watching cartoons with Leo. I hovered by the doorframe, watching them. Dad glanced towards my room. Lily hasn't eaten all day. I'll go wake her up. Mom immediately cut him off. One missed meal won't kill her. She's just playing on your soft heart, trying to manipulate you. She's so manipulative at such a young age. Don't mind her. Let's see how long she can sleep. Leo mimicked mom, waving his little hand. Lily, not good. No one came to check on me. Mom, I wasn't being bad. I really was awake. Look, I've been floating here for so long. It's just the me lying in bed. He doesn't seem to want to wake up anymore. In the afternoon, my friend Ethan from preschool came to find me. Ethan held up a Transformer toy, shyly saying, Aunt Sarah, is Lily here? This is a gift Mom and I bought for her. Mom's face instantly changed, looking very upset. She blocked the doorway, not letting them in, her voice stiff. She's fine, just doesn't want to go to preschool, throwing a tantrum and faking illness at home. Ethan's mom, Mrs. Miller, looked a bit awkward, softly saying, Sarah, Lily seems quite well behaved to me. Ethan was bullied at preschool, and Lily even got hurt protecting him. Mom seemed provoked, her voice rising to a shriek. What do you know? She wishes she could destroy this whole family. Lily is a monster. She harmed Leo. If only she were half as easy to handle as other kids, would I be this exhausted? Ethan started crying, scared by her outburst. Mrs. Miller, her face unhappy, picked him up and left. Mom closed the door, her chest still heaving violently, mumbling repeatedly, She's not well behaved at all. You've all been tricked by her. I floated beside Mom, looking at her twisted face, feeling a little sad. Mom, I really wanted to be a good kid who made things easy for you. Dad came into the bedroom once, standing by the bed for a long time. He sighed, whispering, Lily, Dad knows you've been wronged, but your mom is almost having a breakdown because of Leo. She's suffering too. He tried to reach out and touch me, but his hand stopped midair and he eventually pulled it back. Dad pulled the corner of my blanket up. You won't be sad if you're asleep. Dad will make your favorite fried eggs tomorrow. He turned and left, his back looking bent. Dad, I'm asleep now, and I'm not sad anymore, but it seems I won't be able to wait for tomorrow's fried eggs. Before going to sleep, Mom came in and glanced at me, complaining, I must owe you something. You were born to be a total curse. All day long she just sleeps. Even a cat or dog would bring some joy. She walked to the bed. How I wished she would anxiously touch my forehead, like when Leo had a fever, and pick me up. But she just poked my shoulder hard through the blanket. Lily, stop pretending, get up now. I didn't react at all. Mom's brows furrowed tightly. So stubborn, huh? See if you can keep sleeping forever. Leo was startled by the sound of her forcefully closing the door and cried, saying he was scared. Mom walked past my room, holding Leo, gently humming a song. She used to hum that song to me too, back before Leo was born. She would rock me, telling me I was her little baby, but that was a long, long time ago. So long it felt like another lifetime. The next afternoon, I still hadn't gotten up. Mom started to get anxious. This brat, is she actually sick? She won't wake up no matter what I do. Dad also seemed a bit nervous. I'll go check on her, but Mom changed her mind again, stopping him. Check what? She's just faking it. If you go now, you'll be playing right into her hands. They thought I was throwing a silent tantrum. But Mom and Dad, I wasn't mad at you. I just couldn't wake up anymore. Today, the house felt a little different. Mom bought a beautiful cake with cute little animals on it. I remembered it was Leo's birthday today. It was my birthday too. Leo and I were born on the same day. Mom used to smile and say it was a bond between brothers. Later, she said I had a tough fate and I was a jinx to Leo. Lots of people came over. Grandpa and Grandma Smith, Grandpa and Grandma Johnson. They brought so many gifts, all for Leo. The newest Transformers, nice overalls. No one remembered it was my birthday today too. And no one asked, where's Lily? Leo, wearing his new clothes, ran around the living room like a little prince. Everyone was laughing, praising Leo for being cute and smart. Mom was smiling so happily, her eyes crinkling up. I started smiling too. That's good. Mom is finally happy. Grandpa Smith suddenly remembered something and asked, why haven't I seen Lily? Mom's smile vanished instantly, her tone becoming impatient. Don't mention her. She's throwing a tantrum in her room, hasn't gotten up or eaten for days, just deliberately trying to annoy us. On such a happy day, don't let her come out and spoil it. Grandma Smith sighed. That child, she's a bit stubborn. Then no one mentioned me again. When it was time to cut the cake, Leo loudly said, save a piece for Lily. Mom kissed Leo. Our little Leo is so kind. Still thinking of Lily. She doesn't deserve Leo's birthday cake. Dad was silent for a moment, then stood up. Let's send a piece to her anyway. She hasn't eaten in 2 days. Mom glared at him. Don't you dare. She's using this as a protest, trying to make us coddle her. If we give in today, what will happen later? Dad looked at Mom's angry face and slowly sat back down. Outside, they were singing, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It was for Leo. The singing was so loud, it almost made me unable to sleep. Mom, look, I'm not being bad. I'm not protesting. I'm making things easy for you. I won't eat Leo's candy anymore. I won't play with his Transformer cars, and I won't make you angry. The cake was eaten, and the guests were about to leave. Leo ran to his room, hugging a pile of gifts. As he passed my door, he timidly walked to my bed. Lily, wake up and play with the toy car. Accidentally, the toy car rolled under my bed, and Leo burst into tears. Mom was the first to rush over. Lily, Leo was kindly trying to play with you, and you made him cry? How could you be so wicked? There, Leo, don't cry. Mom will get it for you. She got down on the floor, reaching under the bed for the toy car. She found the toy, and also the red cloth pouch. Mom pulled it out. The red cloth was unfolded, and the keepsake locket was gone. On it, written in crooked pencil, were a few words. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry. She froze, then looked up at the small lump on the bed that hadn't moved for days. Mom's face instantly turned ashen, her voice trembling.
Mom's fingers started shaking so badly that the toy car slipped from her hand. The room fell silent. David, she whispered. Dad looked up from the living room. What is it? Mom stared at the empty cloth pouch. Then at the blanket. Then at the words written in crooked pencil. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry. Her face drained of color. David. Something in her voice made everyone stop talking. Dad hurried over. What happened? Mom held out the pouch with trembling hands. Dad read the note. His eyes widened. For the first time in years, genuine fear appeared on his face. What is this? Mom slowly turned toward the bed. The small lump beneath the blanket hadn't moved. Not once. Not in 3 days. Her breathing became ragged. Lily. No answer. She reached toward the blanket. Then pulled her hand back. For some reason she was afraid. Terrified. Dad stepped forward. Lily? Still nothing. Grandma Johnson frowned. Why isn't she answering? Dad's hands shook as he grabbed the blanket. Then he pulled it down. The room exploded into screams. Mom collapsed to her knees. Grandma Smith covered her mouth. Someone dropped a plate. Someone else started crying. I looked down from beside the window. My body lay perfectly still. My skin was pale. My lips were blue. My small hands were folded against my stomach. I looked like I was sleeping. Except I wasn't breathing. Mom let out a sound I had never heard before. A broken, animal-like scream. No. She threw herself onto the bed. Lily. She grabbed my shoulders. Shook me. Hard. Lily, wake up. Dad stumbled backward. His face had gone completely white. No. Mom kept shaking me. Stop pretending. Her voice cracked. Get up right now. But I couldn't. I wanted to tell her that. I wanted to tell her I wasn't angry. I wasn't trying to punish her. I simply couldn't wake up. Grandpa Smith called emergency services. People rushed around the room. The birthday party vanished instantly. The cake sat forgotten on the dining table. Its candles were still there. One for Leo. One for me. Neither had been lit for me. The paramedics arrived quickly. They checked my pulse. Then checked again. One of them looked at Dad. His expression said everything. Dad collapsed into a chair. Mom kept repeating one sentence. Over and over. No. 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 The paramedic carefully asked. How long has she been like this? Nobody answered. Finally Dad whispered. 3 days. The room became deathly silent. The paramedic froze. What? Dad looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him. We thought she was sleeping. The paramedic's jaw tightened. Mom finally noticed. Sleeping? The man looked at her. Ma'am. His voice was gentle. Your daughter passed away several days ago. Mom stared at him. Then at me. Then at the untouched bed. The untouched food. The closed door. The memories came flooding back. One meal won't kill her. Let's see how long she can sleep. Don't give her cake. She's faking it. Mom suddenly screamed. A scream so loud the entire house shook. She buried her face against my chest. Lily. Her tears soaked my pajamas. I'm sorry. I had wanted those words for so long. Years. I used to imagine Mom hugging me. Protecting me. Telling me she loved me. Now she was. But I couldn't feel it anymore. The ambulance took my body away. Mom tried to climb in after me. Dad had to hold her back. Leo stood in the doorway. Confused. Why is everyone crying? Nobody could answer him. That night the house was silent. No cartoons. No birthday presents. No singing. Only crying. Mom sat in my room until dawn. Holding my stuffed rabbit. The one she hadn't noticed for years. Inside the rabbit's pocket she found dozens of folded drawings. Crayon pictures. Every single one was our family. Mom. Dad. Leo. And me. In every drawing, I was holding Mom's hand. On the back of one picture were childish words. My wish is for Mom to love me again. Mom broke completely. The next morning she couldn't even stand. Days later the hospital report arrived. The locket had caused severe internal damage and obstruction. It could have been treated easily if I had been brought in immediately. Or even the next day. Or the day after that. Dad stared at the report for hours. Then quietly vomited in the bathroom. Mom locked herself in my room. She read my preschool notebooks. My homework. My birthday cards. Everything. In one notebook she found a page titled, "What makes you happy?" My answer was written in shaky pencil. When Mom smiles at me. Mom fainted. A month later the police arrested Mr. Peterson. Another child had finally spoken up. The investigation uncovered everything. Everything he had done. To me. To others. The dates matched the bruises. The injuries. The times I came home crying. Mom sat through every interview. Every testimony. Every piece of evidence. Each one was another knife twisting into her heart. Because every time I had needed help, she had ignored me. One evening she entered my room carrying the keepsake box from my closet. Inside was every little thing I had treasured. Broken crayons. Stickers. Birthday cards. And dozens of letters. Letters I had written but never given her. Mom opened the first one. Dear Mom. Today I got first place in class. I wanted to tell you but you were busy with Leo. That's okay. I still love you. The second letter. Dear Mom. I protected Leo today. He didn't get hurt. Are you proud of me? The third. Dear Mom. I think you hate me now. But I still love you. By sunrise Mom had read them all. And by sunrise there wasn't a single dry page left. Years later people would say Sarah never recovered. Neither did Dad. They visited my grave every week. Without fail. Rain. Sunshine. Storms. It didn't matter. Mom always brought two things. Fresh flowers. And a slice of birthday cake. One year, on our birthday, Leo placed a Transformer toy beside my headstone. He was older now. Old enough to understand. His voice trembled. I'm sorry, Lily. Then he began to cry. Mom wrapped her arms around him. And all three of them stood there together. Looking at my name. At the dates carved into stone. At the life they had lost. I floated nearby. Just like a bubble. Just like before. The pain was gone now. The cold was gone too. I looked at Mom one last time. She was crying again. The way she always did when she visited. I smiled. Because after all this time, she finally looked at me the way she used to. The way she had before everything went wrong. Like I was her little baby. The wind carried through the cemetery. Soft and warm. And for the first time in a very long while, I wasn't lonely anymore. The years passed. For me, time felt different now. Days drifted by like clouds. Seasons changed in the blink of an eye. But every week, without fail, Mom came. At first she came crying. Then she came sobbing. Then she came looking as though she hadn't slept for months. Dad always stood beside her. Quieter. Older. Bent under a weight he could never put down. And Leo came too. At first he didn't understand. Then he understood too much. Every visit began the same way. Mom would kneel before my grave. Touch my name. And whisper. Hi, Lily. As if I had only been away for a little while. As if I might answer. One autumn afternoon, when Leo was 10, he brought a notebook. He sat cross-legged in front of my headstone. I learned how to write better, he said. Then he opened the notebook. Inside were pages and pages of letters. Letters to me. I miss you. I'm sorry. I wish we could play together. I remember when you protected me from those boys. His voice cracked. I remember more now. Mom suddenly froze. Leo looked down. When Mr. Peterson tried to take me that day. His hands trembled. You pushed me away. The cemetery became silent. Dad looked up sharply. Mom stopped breathing. Leo wiped his eyes. You saved me. Nobody spoke. For years Mom had convinced herself that I had harmed Leo. That I had ruined his life. That everything was my fault. Now the truth was sitting right in front of her. A child speaking the words. The child she had spent years protecting. Leo looked at my grave. You always protected me. Mom let out a broken sob. She collapsed forward. Her forehead pressed against the stone. For a long time she couldn't speak. Then the words finally came. They lied to me. Dad closed his eyes. Mom shook her head. No. Her voice was barely audible. I lied to myself. Because deep down, she had always known. Somewhere beneath the grief. Beneath the anger. Beneath the guilt. She had known I was never cruel. Never selfish. Never dangerous. Believing otherwise had simply been easier. Easier than facing what happened to Leo. Easier than accepting that terrible accidents happen. Easier than accepting that she had chosen someone to blame. And that someone had been her own daughter. That night Mom went home and opened every photo album in the house. For years she had avoided pictures of me. Now she looked at every single one. There I was at 3 years old. Covered in cake frosting. Laughing. There I was at 5. Holding Mom's hand. Smiling proudly. There I was at 7. Standing beside Leo with my arm around him. Protecting him even then. Mom cried until sunrise. A few weeks later she did something unexpected. She started a foundation in my name. A small one at first. It helped abused and neglected children. Children nobody listened to. Children people called liars. Children who needed someone to believe them. The first plaque they hung on the wall read. Lily Foundation. Every child deserves to be heard. When Mom unveiled it, she couldn't stop crying. But for the first time in years, there was something else in her eyes. Not just grief. Purpose. She couldn't save me. But maybe she could save someone else. Years passed again. Leo grew taller than Dad. Graduated school. Went to college. Every achievement, he visited me afterward. Every birthday too. Always bringing 2 slices of cake. One for him. One for me. When he graduated university, he stood beside my grave wearing his gown. You should be here. His voice cracked. You would have been smarter than me. Then he laughed through his tears. Actually, you definitely would have been smarter than me. I laughed too. Even though he couldn't hear me. One spring morning, many years later, Mom's hair had become completely gray. Dad walked slower now. Their hands were wrinkled. They stood together in front of my grave. Mom smiled softly. You would have been 25 today. Dad nodded. I wonder what kind of person you would have become. I knew the answer. I would have become someone ordinary. Someone who loved her family. Someone who wanted her mother to smile. Just like always. Mom placed flowers down carefully. Then she looked at the sky. You know, Lily. Her voice was gentle. I spent years asking for your forgiveness. She smiled through tears. But I think you've already forgiven me. The wind stirred around us. Soft and warm. Like a hug. Mom closed her eyes. And somehow. She smiled. A real smile. The kind I hadn't seen since before Leo's accident. For the first time, her grief wasn't crushing her. It was simply love. Love that had nowhere left to go. I looked at all of them. Mom. Dad. Leo. The family I had spent my entire life trying to protect. And I realized something. They would always carry the pain. But they would carry my love too. The sunlight grew brighter. Warmer. A feeling spread through Me. Gentle. Peaceful. Like someone reaching out their hand. Far away, I thought I heard a familiar voice. The voice Mom used to use when I was little. Come here, my baby. I smiled. The same way I had smiled in all those old drawings. Then I took one last look at my family. And stepped into the light.